Dick is back. The rogue is being brought to life at York Dungeon.
Hello everyone, and today I'm in beautiful York. This is a little clue of what I'm going to do, if you can hear me. I'm a dandy highwayman and you're too scared to mention. I spend my cash by looking flash and grabbing your attention. Yes! No, it's not Adamant. It's Dick Turpin! Let's go! Gallop, gallop! We're galloping off. Actually, yeah, it's Dick Turpin. I'm here in a beautiful spot in York, and we're going to head out and find Dick Turpin's grave. So stick around, have a look. York is wonderful, and it's somewhere around the back of there. Let's gallop off and find him. Well, poor old Dickie didn't really have a very long life, but it's not surprising, is it, because he was hung. And his actual date, he was born on the 21st of September 1705, but unfortunately he died on the 7th of April 1739. Like I say, a bit premature because he was So as you can see behind me, the actual location is St George's Catholic Church in York. Quite easy to find if you want to visit. You can actually see one of the York walls from there, look. I'm going to walk around some of the York walls a little later this evening, and if you're very nice, I'll take you with me, okay? Be good. So I'm now stood on the York perimeter wall. This would be the old York, and that would be the bit that's not old. Well, I suppose it'd be the not York bit. But look, that's the wall going down there. Goes right round, obviously. And this is how it is. Very nice, it's very authentic. And we come down. Of course, this would be one of the main entrances. This is literally 100 yards from Dick Turpin's grave. That's all it is. It's just down there. So there we go, you see. This has been a gateway since medieval times. Just think of the people that have been through here, eh? Wow. Now we're not in York anymore. Well, we are, but in olden days it won't be. And that's the Barbican Theatre, just over there, look. So before we go to Dick Turpin's grave, might as well show you a couple of sights of York that people come to see. And the first one is the one you can't really miss, it's so massive. York Minster. Go spin, hang on. There we go. You see? There we are, York Minster. It might be possible to walk to the shambles quickly, but to be honest, I'm parked on a spot I shouldn't be. So there it is, York Minster. There we go. Got a trip there going on. Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes. So Guy Fawkes was born there somewhere. Fancy that, Guy Fawkes. I wouldn't have heard that. I should have gone on the tour, shouldn't I? Guy Fawkes was born there. Okay, let's go to the shambles. Love this wonky house, don't you? There we are. This is the shambles. There we are, shambles. There we go. Looks like we've got a statue down there. So this is the famous shambles because it's all over the place. It's like designer shambles. See that guy there? I'm going to pinch his bum. And there we go. Nice shops. I had to do this because all my life when I've been doing anything, people have said, it's a shambles. Boom, boom. There we go. Yeah, just sort of all over the wonky shops basically, which probably were wonky because they didn't have building regulations then, have now become its. Look at the road as well. I'm going to say it's like my stomach, but I didn't want to. So I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. We've done it. Been there and got the t-shirt. Another guide there, look. Shambles. Ooh, look at that over there. Really wonky, isn't it? Got the guided tour. So let's go back and find Dick Turpin. I like to keep it a surprise, like I said before, it's true. So if I start stumbling and fumbling, you'll know why. But we're going to spin round now and have a look. There's some people just leaving. I'm going to let them go first. Then we'll head in. Here we go. So, once again, I've seen a picture, but I've not seen the actual grave. Let's first of all go to the board. This is it, Dick Turpin. Yes. There we go, can you see? Slow the camera down if you want to read it. There we go. Oh yeah, the York Dungeon, that's a good... I've never been, but I've heard it's fantastic. We're right in the centre of York, next to the main wall. I can't believe I've been to lots of these well-known graves, but I've never seen one as popular as Dick Turpin's. Every time you look, there's somebody else there, look. You see what I mean? It's more famous than George Michael. Dick Turpin would never be remembered if it wasn't for an author called William Harrison Ainsworth, who wrote a book almost 100 years after his death called Rockwood. The book romanticised the image of Dick Turpin because in reality he was nothing but a thief, a poacher of deer and horses, and a sadistic and very nasty, cruel man. An act was passed to try and stop the poaching called the Black Act. It was called that because they used to blacken the faces to hide in the dark. Dick Turpin was part of two gangs. One was called the Gregory Gang and one was called the Essex Gang. Eventually these gangs were tracked down, but the Essex Gang robbed one old chap called Joshua Lawrence, who was 70. They tortured him, dragged him around, were threatened to pour boiling water over him and raped one of the ladies in the farmhouse until they stole all his money, £100 plus possessions. Eventually the Essex Gang was mostly caught, with the exception of two of the members, one of which was Dick Turpin. They were all sentenced to death when they were caught, except for Mary Brazier, who used to dispose of some of the goods, and she was sent for penal transportation. Dick Turpin attempted to rob a chap called Thomas King, who turned out also to be a highwayman, so they formed a team. But unfortunately, during a mistake, Dick Turpin shot Thomas King by accident. He was being hunted down and he decided he would flee, and in 1737 he hid in Epping Forest. A royal proclamation was passed, and a reward was put on Dick Turpin's head to the sum of £200. So Dick Turpin decided to flee from Epping Forest and move to York. He took on the name of John Palmer to try and disguise himself. In October 1738, under the name of John Palmer, to try and hide, Dick Turpin shot a rooster. Maybe he was hungry, maybe he was in a bad mood, nobody really knows. John Palmer was caught and incarcerated in York Castle, and it soon became apparent that it was a fictitious name. What actually caught Dick Turpin was he wrote a letter to his brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law did not wish to receive the letter, and so it was read, unfortunately, by his former teacher, who recognised the handwriting and then identified the fact that John Palmer was really Dick Turpin. On February the 23rd, 1739, he was taken to York Assizes, where he was given the death sentence. On the day of his death, he actually paid £3 and 10 shillings to the 5 mourners to walk behind the procession, and wore some very grand clothes to try and go out in a dignified fashion. It's said that he was quite courageous, and he actually spoke to the crowd and spoke to the topsman who was going to hang him. And in other words, he was putting on quite a good show, really. And his time was up. It's said that his leg trembled as he was climbing up the steps to the gallows, but he stamped the leg to disguise it. Spoke to the topsman for about 30 minutes and then threw himself off and died within 5 minutes. His body was buried, but then some body snatchers dug it up called the Restoration Men. It was sold for anatomy. You've got to remember, at the end of all this, that not the romantic figure of the highwayman, stand and deliver, that was not the real character. All these men were very cruel, nasty thieves. But the romantic image of the books is what sold Dick Turpin and what keeps his memory alive. It's a very small area, and I've actually seen it. I mean, it's so small you can't miss it. It's a weird sort of graveyard because, look, they're all laid flat. You see what I mean? Except for one in the distance. And that's it for sure. But yeah, let's approach it together. And what happened was Dick Turpin's father was a butcher, and he decided, I like this, even if you think about it, his father's a butcher, right? And he decided that rather than paying for the meat, he'd cut the middleman out and he'd steal the deer himself, you know? So he was a deer hunter, and then and became a horse hunter, and there was hunting him down basically for all that. Can you believe it? That's the second tour bus. Sightseeing of York. Hop on and hop off. Come past Dick Turpin's grave. There we go. Quite hard to read. Yeah, they're quite hard to read, look. Let's try this one. In memory of Jane, wife of John Barker, 1859. Must be popular because look, the young couple over there gone to have a look. We'll let them look first. We won't charge him with the camera. So suddenly he disappeared. It was 1735 and he just disappeared off the track, not to be seen anywhere. Didn't appear again for 2 years. 1737. Got a new gang together. Thought, hey ho, we're off. So eventually, unfortunately, they caught him, and poor Dick Turpin was interred in York Castle. So while he was in there, what led to his demise, unfortunately, was that rather stupidly, he wrote a letter to his brother-in-law. They intercepted the letter, boom, he's caught, and that was it. He never got out again. He was hung in the York gallows. So we're going to approach it now. By the way, you would not believe the number of people that have done songs about Dick Turpin. Can you? Oh, there's just loads. But I mean, of course, Adamant, I think that was about Dick Turpin. But we even had Freddie and the Dreamers. Val Doonican released one. Can you imagine Val Doonican? No, actually, he produced the record, but it never got released. That would have been a weird one, wouldn't it? Val Doonican. Okay, let's move in. Here we go. Actually, it looks very nice right at the back, doesn't it? It's the only one with a stone. All the rest are flat. So it's dead easy to find. Hello, Dick. Yeah, you were notorious, but little did you know how famous you would become. It's quite nice, isn't it? Let's have a read of the stone then. Okay, let's have a look. Here we go. John Palmer, otherwise Richard Turpin, the notorious highwayman and horse stealer, executed at Tyneburn, April the 7th, 1739, and buried in St George's Churchyard. Wow. You know, he looks like a real celebrity, doesn't he? When you look at this churchyard, look, everything's flat except this one. And there we go. And in the time that I've been here, in fact there's a young couple coming up now, quite a few people have come over to look at the grave. So, bye bye Dick, see ya. So it just shows you how famous Dick Turpin is. And the infamous highwayman. Do they say that crime pays? No, it doesn't. So don't forget to subscribe and ding the bell for future notifications, and a thumbs up and a comment, of course, would be lovely. I'll get back to you on them, and I'll see you again very soon on Motor on BB. Take care everyone, bye.